We have a lot of show to get through here to stuff into the next hour. Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody has a great guest this week, one of the best he's ever had. Do you remember what Stugotz's ranking was in the top 100 guests of all time of the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody? He was a top 10 guest, was he not? Did he not finish in the top 10?
I think so.
Stop looking at your son as if it's his podcast instead of yours.
He's the bookkeeper. Like, he knows the top 100 better than I do.
Off the top of my head, I just know it.
Yeah, you have a ranking of guests?
Yeah, we what was it for our 250th episode?
We have our top 100 guests of all time.
It's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, and I think Stugotz did rank number 8 or something.
I think Tony Kornheiser was number 1.
Yes, Tony the K. Finally got him.
Dan, you were in the top 10 too, don't worry.
No, he wasn't. He was 11th.
Oh, we did that. That was a bit.
Yeah, he was 11th. I'm sorry, Dan. But, yeah, Stugotz is on this week. He's always great. I love Stugotz.
Previewing Dolphins-Jets.
What do you say?
The number, if you want to give the Boost Mobile hot take line a little bit better of a hot take than it presently has, it has the name GOTS in it, the number. 305-486-GOTS, 305-486-4689. Are these calls any better than the recent calls? Because you guys keep defending this thing, and I've been disappointed recently after you raised expectations on it. Let's see what we have here this week.
It's the Boost Mobile Boldest Take presented by Boost Mobile, the newest 5G network in the country.
My boldest take is touchdowns with Guardian caps should count as 2.
It's dinner, not supper. We had the Last Supper. Good for you, Da Vinci. All right, it's done now. Supper's lame. It's dinner.
Just want to let you guys know that if you have a longer name than your nickname, you're doing it wrong. James, you can't be Jimmy. George, you can't be Geo. That's more syllables than the original name.
Long snappers are the unsung heroes of football teams. I mean, you see kickers miss kicks all the time, but how often do you actually see a bad snap? Pay the long snappers.
Just wonder if they would ever name their dog after a athlete that had to change the name, like OJ or Favre.
The term pop blowing, is it a verb, an adverb, or adjective?
It's Sean calling from inside my car to hide from my kids. If you are a ranked college team whose fans storm the field more than once during the season, it should count against your college football ranking.
Dan is an elitist.
I think that only 1 and 4 o'clock games should end in ties. If it is a primetime game, they play till it ends like old baseball games. Play until the next day for all I care.
The quad box is the most overrated thing in sports television. I bought a 60-inch TV. I don't want 4 15-inch TVs. Screw you, Scott Hansen.
305-486-GOTS is the number. Not a good batch, Zaslow.
I couldn't agree more, though, with the quad box take. Like, you can't tell me that you're watching the quad box and you're actually able to focus on anything that's happening.
Right.
You're getting snippets of 4 different games, which means you don't know anything that's happening in any game.
Yeah. We're currently on a quad box right now if you're looking at us. But if I actually disagree. I like the quad box because at least I'm getting 4 games. The double box, they don't make it bigger. It's like still the size of the quad box. So I'm getting 2 games smaller. Like at least the 4 box, I feel like I'm watching a lot. Yeah. The 2 box, there's so much empty space on my TV. Why can't we make these fit on my screen fully? It's annoying.
Give me one show on my TV, please. My wife is the Red Zone queen. We got to watch Red Zone around her, and it's just like it's mind-numbing. There's just too much going on at once.
No, Red Zone's fine because it's just one thing that's happened. Then they take you to another thing. Yeah, they're not all on your screen.
Sometimes there's multiple things on the screen. They're talking about plays that I don't care about. Who cares about a touchdown on a game I'm not betting on? I don't have any fantasy players in it.
You predict every game.
I know I do, but I'll find out the score eventually.
How are you doing this year, by the way?
On my predictions?
Yeah.
You know, it's been a little bit of a slow start.
Yeah?
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start.
And
Thank
PFPI?
you. PFPI, I had a good week. I was 11-5 last week.
Wow.
We vaulted up. We passed Tatiana's Llamas. So we're.
I think it's just Tati's Llamas.
You're right. It is Tati's Llamas. So we're moving on up like the Jeffersons, and we're getting there.
Got a bigger issue with Red Zone. Resolution sucks.
Oh.
It's 2025, and we're doing this thing in 480p. It looks bad. It doesn't look good. You know, 5 years ago in Europe, every soccer game's in 4K? You tune in, you got your 4K packages, you get like 2 games a weekend that's 4K. It's ridiculous.
I don't know what any of that stuff means.
Do you think Emerson from DraftKings is hated because everyone was like, God, I'm going to hate the commercials. And then we were like waiting to see what the commercials are. And then all of a sudden Emerson pops up on the screen. He's like, hey, DraftKings, use this code.
Hey, go Knights, though. Emerson, UCF Knight. You want me to go? I'll go again.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, asshole.
Silent. He didn't sleep yesterday. How would you put 2, Chris? Would you have them like be broadcast sideways so that it's
make it work,
screen?
TV. Look, that's not for me to figure out.
Because the games are, a TV's wider than it is tall.
They
That's
need
why
to make
space.
the boxes fit to every TV. There.
We will get to Jessica in just a second. We're also going to get to the useless sound montage before the end of the show. It's loaded this week. Before we get to Jessica, though, we've got an active revolt in the WNBA, and it is unusual for a player of the caliber, of the excellence of Napheesa Collier to just scorch management this way in a way that is super eloquent. And we've talked before about the general officiating problem throughout sports. We've talked specifically of the officiating problem in the WNBA, but to go after leadership this way, it is really rare. And she is speaking. There are a whole lot of players who have spoken up right behind her saying, man, this is just a mess at the top of the WNBA.
I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money. It isn't ratings or even missed calls or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Fans see it every night. Coaches, both winning and losing, point it out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence. At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Cathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's a mentality driving our league from the top. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them.
There's more to that. She said more. You can hear her a little breathy, a little nervous. This has to be something that is nerve-wracking. She was on South Beach Sessions and was excellent, far more relaxed than this. But she's doing something here to Cathy Engelbert, who a lot of people have a complaint about, the commissioner of the league, and you can hear the nerves in her voice a little bit.
I have the privilege of watching my husband run a league where he has to balance 100 different things at once. I won't pretend the job is easy, but even with all of that on his plate, he always takes the time to reach out to players when he sees an injury, whether it's Unrivaled or even during the WNBA season. That is what leadership looks like. It's the human element. It's basic integrity, and it's the bare minimum any leader should embody. This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. But do you know who I haven't heard from? Cathy. Not one call, not one text. Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2 telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. That is infuriating. And it's the perfect example of the tone-deaf, dismissive approach that our leaders always seem to take. I've finally grown tired. For too long, I have tried to have these conversations in private, but it's clear there is no intention of accepting there's a problem. The league has made it clear it isn't about innovation, it isn't about collaboration, it's about control and power. I've earned this platform and I've paid the price to get here, and now I have a responsibility to speak on behalf of the fans and everyone in this league that deserves better. Our leadership's answer to being held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines. I'm not concerned about a fine. I'm concerned about the future of our sport. At some point, everyone deserves to hear the truth from someone who I hope has earned the benefit of the doubt to fight for what is right and fair for our athletes and our fans. We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world. If I didn't know exactly what the job entailed, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. But unfortunately for them, I do. We serve a league that has shown they think championship coaches and Hall of Fame players are dispensable, and that's fine. It's professional sports. But I will not stand quietly by and allow different standards to be applied at the league level.
Wow, that's monumental to me. I mean, she is leading, with the support of the players, she is leading a mutiny against the commissioner of a major league, and she's doing it at a time when the league is on its biggest stage in the playoffs, about to go into the finals. This would be the equivalent of Patrick Mahomes openly leading a mutiny against Roger Goodell. This cannot be understated how important it is.
Okay, so first of all, this league is wild, all right? In general, it is a wild league. I don't know any other league in professional sports in North America. It's nonstop drama with this league. It's pretty crazy. And we've never, at least I don't think we've ever seen something like this where a player, certainly as high profile as Napheesa Collier, is calling essentially for the removal of the commissioner. Now, I do think it's important to point out they're in the middle of a labor dispute. And, essentially the players here are saying, we don't want to deal with her anymore, who is the negotiating head of the owners here. But some of the quotes that she put out, or some of the things that she says there that Cathy Engelbert told her one time, are pretty nuts. Like the idea that Caitlin Clark should be grateful for the WNBA because otherwise she wouldn't be able to make all of the money elsewhere sounds like a really terrible thing for Cathy Engelbert to go around saying to people. I don't want to hear that she was having a private conversation. Cathy Engelbert's not friends with the players. Like, she's the commissioner. So anytime she's speaking to a player, you're speaking as a representative of the WNBA and as commissioner. So I don't care about that part. It's not like she's out there snitching on Cathy Engelbert, okay? I do want to point out, though, she mentions, she knows what it's like to run a league because my husband runs a league and I see all this. Her husband runs Unrivaled, all right? Like, I think it's important to point that out as well, which is, hey, she's a terrible leader, but my husband who runs the league that, we're doing over here, I do think it's important to point out the possible conflict of interest when it comes to that. But man, that was a hit she put out on Cathy Engelbert. I've never heard anything like that.
Yeah, I think the drama in the NBA is good. I think Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark having this big rivalry is great for the league. But it's all up, and they can. The officiating is what's current right now, but I
think it's been the biggest story in the league this year.
Yes, but the underpinning of the whole thing continues to be the salaries and the disparity, and it's what got Brittany Griner arrested in Russia a few years ago. And the disparity continues, even though the wages are going up. It's still terrible, and the NBA, which is involved financially in the WNBA, needs to do appreciably more than it is doing.
I do think we're going to bring in Jess here. She hosts the Echoes podcast with Mike Golick, and this week they have Jeremiah Love on because this is not an echo chamber. They celebrate all things Notre Dame football. One of the reasons that the officiating is the big story is because it's easy for us to talk about the officiating and not necessarily Aces Fever Game 5 or Phoenix Mercury. I know Zaz is watching the WNBA very closely. You and I, Greg, are not. It's easier for us to talk about macro topics. But Jessica, what did you make of what it is that Napheesa Collier did and said there?
I thought that it was obviously the officiating angle is what has been a big part of the conversation this season, but I really think that was only an entry point for her because of what happened at the end of the Lynx game on Sunday night. I think that obviously the bigger takeaway here is that the players in the league are in this labor dispute and they feel like Cathy Engelbert has been a truly terrible leader at a time in which, like Greg mentioned, the WNBA is on its biggest stage, has the most viewers in history, and needs a leader who's able to actually work with the players and get them the things that they need. And instead, Cathy Engelbert has done a lot of things that the players feel like have been wrong by them. So, I mean, there are all the examples that you heard that she gave, but there's also just been these silly faux pas that she's made, like last year wearing the New York skyline dress to the end the finals game where the Liberty won, in another controversial end of game officiating situation, and pronouncing names wrong of coaches that she's giving awards to, things like that. So I really think that this is a bigger thing. And to talk about Unrivaled for a second, like, yes, she's saying her husband, he's, I believe, the president of Unrivaled. Obviously she's biased towards that, but Napheesa Collier is one of the founders of Unrivaled. So she herself knows how to run a league. She's been in meetings with brands and with television networks, and she knows that when you want to get things done, if you actually want to get something done, it's a little bit easier than maybe the WNBA leadership has led on to. Like, I think private jets is a great example of that. Apparently there are these huge setbacks, huge hurdles to flying charter flights to games, until all of a sudden there wasn't, because eventually the WNBA decided that was something they actually wanted to do. I'm sure that there's other examples of that too, right? But Napheesa Collier, in her experience, has found that actually some of these things, when you actually want to get them done and do them for the players, are a little bit easier than they may be letting on to. And of course, the uniqueness of all of this is because of the ownership structure in the WNBA. I mean, Cathy Engelbert is appointed by Adam Silver, I believe. She is sort of a scapegoat here. I don't think she's doing anything that the NBA doesn't want her to do. So I do believe that this is a problem that's bigger than she is. But as this ongoing labor negotiation it's going to stretch on, and the players believe that they are a very far ways away from having any sort of agreement with management, I think that this is a very calculated move to, especially to get all of the fans on board together against management, against a common opponent, and to explain that, hey, we want to give you guys high-level basketball. We want an entertaining product. We want all of the fans to understand that this isn't because the players are stuck in their ways. This is because there's a lot of forces against us right now trying to prevent those things from happening.
Jess, is it slightly bad form, though, for the timing of this statement from her? Because I'm sure the league and what's best for the league would be all eyes on, we now have a matchup in the WNBA Finals, but the biggest story by far is what Napheesa Collier said yesterday.
No, I don't think so, because I think that, if anything, I think this will get people interested in the WNBA in general, because this is such a, I think this could legitimately be like a paradigm shifting moment in the WNBA. Especially, there was reporting that came out last night in Sports Business Journal that Cathy Engelbert was not going to proceed after the negotiation, and she was going to step down anyways. So, for there to be a leadership change at this point, I think is a pretty big story, but I don't think that this takes away from, I'm curious, I'm sure the ratings were huge because the Fever have gotten huge ratings all season long, even without Caitlin Clark, but I'm sure the Aces Fever game probably still had a ton of viewers, even though it was on too late, and I might have dozed off a little bit because it ended after midnight. It went into overtime, but it was still really exciting games and now the finals go to 7 games if needed. So I don't think that this really takes away from that. If anything, I think it's getting people, especially fans, like really interested, invested in what is going to come here.
What did you take away from Aces Fever Game 5? And just in general, the weird route that the Aces took back to the finals?
It was a lot, Dan. And also another game where a lot of people are going to talk about the officiating because Aaliyah Boston fouled out. And some people thought that it was a little ticky-tack. It was a little ticky-tack considering what, the physicality level has been in some of these other series. So, especially even in that series. So, yeah, it was awesome, I thought, to see the Fever make it that far because they've had so many injuries this season, like player after player after player, season-ending injury. I thought they fought really hard, and the fact that they took it to overtime was crazy. It would have been really cool to see them make it to a final, given the just insanity of the season that they've had. I'm sure their fans are exhausted right now. But it was just a really exciting game. High-level play from Jackie Young and Asia Wilson, who's obviously the MVP of the league. She just is so good and just awesome. And the Aces, despite not having a front court that can really score a lot and contribute a lot, has somehow made it back to the finals after a season in which they lost in a historic blowout fashion midway through the summer. Like I saw Asia Wilson, I think, said last night that people counted us out. And a lot of people rolled their eyes at that and were like, no one counted you out. You're the Aces. I counted them out. I didn't think they were going to be back in the finals. I thought that this season, nothing was going their way. So, they were able to dig deep and pull it off there. And it's going to be an exciting finals between them and the Mercury. They're kind of two completely different teams, but I think it's going to be good basketball.
I want to talk some college football here with Jess. I want Greg, did you have any opinions on what happened with Colorado and Deion Sanders and just the general crassness that we're seeing from crowds that range from the Ryder Cup to the Colorado Stadium crowd?
Yeah, Colorado's been fined $50,000 because a number of their fans were chanting "F the Mormons" when they played BYU.
Sheesh.
And it's crude, it's crass, it's embarrassing. And what happened at the Ryder Cup at Bethpage in New York was worse. They were chanting the F word directly at Rory McIlroy, and it seems to be, I don't know whether it's political climate or what. I don't want to get too macro on this, but there's just a degradation of civility and sportsmanship at sports events. And I really, really think it's sad. And I like that they're fining teams because their fans chant all this, and there have been repercussions from what happened at the Ryder Cup, but it really needs to stop. It's just so crude and rude.
Let's hear Deion Sanders apologizing for the behavior of Colorado students.
Let me mention this, and Rick might not want me to mention. I know it was an incident at the conclusion of the game or whatsoever. On behalf of CU, on behalf of our athletic department, we would like to apologize to our opponents from a week ago for whatever derogatory statements were made by our fans. That's not indicative of who we are. Our student body, our kids are phenomenal. So don't indict us just based on a group of young kids that probably was intoxicated and high simultaneously. Maybe I shouldn't have said that as well. But the truth will make you free. But BYU, we love you, we appreciate you, and we support you.
Colorado, you can smoke as much as you want wherever you want.
Make you free.
I've heard him talk about it like every second quarter. I don't know what's going on in this stadium.
Jessica, what were your thoughts of Deion and everything that happened there?
My thoughts are that the best apologies are honest ones, and maybe he was slightly too honest, but it sounded sincere, so I think he did a good job there.
Speaking of crassness, what about the Pitt players jumping the Louisville ball boy?
What happened there?
Dude, that was so bad.
It was crazy. I don't know if you saw the video, Dan, but yeah, the Pitt players were trying to get this is the Louisville ball person. I don't know, do we call them ball boys when they're adults? Probably
ball
not.
Men.
But he was trying to recover the football because in college football, and David Ubben wrote a story about this for The Athletic. So you are responsible for the footballs that your offense uses throughout a game. And when you're away, you want to make sure you get all your footballs back. So he was trying to make sure he got his football back after a Pitt interception there. And the Pitt player was trying to do a crossover thing with it, and I don't know what he was going to do, maybe try to keep it or something. So the ball person was doing his job there, trying to make sure he got his football back. And there's been other instances in the past where ball people have tried to get their footballs back while the offense or whoever, the away team is trying to get it back from them. But this one got particularly spicy, Dan. So I encourage people to read that article because it was very interesting. And this guy from Louisville, I think his name's Zephian Wade, he takes his job very seriously, and I have to commend him for this effort here.
I don't like what they did to him.
No, it was bad.
No, me neither.
That was
terrible.
That was a bad scene, and everybody was wondering what was going on there. Jess, you're familiar with the market, and I am a veteran of a lot of bad crowds at a pro football stadium for an ACC football game. That crowd for Pitt versus Louisville was as bad as I've ever seen for an ACC conference game. I don't know if it's a bright yellow seats, but that was pitiful. What's going on over there?
I don't know. I'm going to a game at Pitt later this year, and I am scared. One of the probably worst experience, that wasn't my phone, by the way. One of the worst experiences I've had as a college football fan was leaving Heinz Field, now Acrisure Stadium, after Notre Dame lost to Pitt in, I believe, 2013. And it was just a terrible and humiliating experience, Dan. And it was made worse by the fact that all of the people heckling me were also Steelers fans. And I was going back to Heinz Field the next day for a Steelers game. And I was trying to be like, hey, guys, I'm on your team, sort of. Be nice. I'm a Steelers fan, but everyone was very angry and it was very upsetting. I don't know what's going on. I mean, people have general theories about fans being worse now post-COVID and people not knowing how to behave in public and things like that. I think that maybe we just shouldn't have sporting events in Long Island. There's a lot of things contributing here.
I was talking
to
in terms of
Ryder Cup.
attendance. That crowd was real thin. I know Pitt, it's never great when you're playing in a pro stadium for a college football program, but that was bad.
Yeah, I mean, they should have never torn down Pitt Stadium, Mike. What can I say? Actually, speaking of Pittsburgh, I have a little Forbes Field, another forgotten stadium, up in the corner of my bedroom right there. So, sad.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Should we stop having sporting events in Long Island? I watched your Fighting Irish, your beloved Fighting Irish, against Arkansas. They toyed with them. Double reverses with a pass off of a punt from their own 20-yard line, just fooling around because Arkansas is terrible. So terrible that they're thinking about bringing Bobby Petrino back, which seems truly insane. Put up the pictures there. I want to know who it is that Jessica thought won this particular contest between the Petrino outfits of me and Lucy Rodine here, where we impersonated Bobby Petrino after he wrecked his motorcycle. That's her red face seems a little bit better.
Hers was scarier. Someone after the show actually texted me and was like, "Is Lucy okay? I saw she got in an accident." So I'm going to have to go with Lucy there. So Bobby Petrino was hired as the offensive coordinator last year, I want to say, and now he's the interim head coach because Sam Pittman was fired after the Notre Dame game. Some people were saying, Dan, that maybe Bobby Petrino was sabotaging Arkansas's offense during the game, knowing that he would be named interim if Sam Pittman was fired. I don't think that was the case. I think Notre Dame just played better on defense than they have all season. But I do think it's crazy because this is like one of the first sports, like college football scandals that I really remember. Like, it was at an age where I could actually process how bad of a situation this was. Like, there was lying involved, there was obfuscation involved, there was just cheating involved. Like, it was so nasty. And the fact that they even brought him back as a coordinator was pretty shocking to me. But I was like, okay, I mean, I guess, second chances, ? It just felt like it was so embarrassing for the university that I'm just still sort of surprised that this all happened. But I guess, maybe I shouldn't be. It's 2025. No one has shame anymore.
I hate when obfuscation happens.
Yeah, me too.
Are you someone who feels like she knows what Alabama is?
I think we'll find out against Vanderbilt, Dan. I think if we watch them defensively hold up against the type of offense Vanderbilt runs, I think that will bode well for Alabama as a team. I will also say, I was listening to your conversation about quad boxes. The Oregon-Penn State game in one box and the Alabama-Georgia game in the other box, first time in a while I've been like, I feel like I'm missing a lot from this Alabama-Georgia game. And I feel like I should have gone full screen with that one, at least in the first half, because that first half of that Oregon-Penn State game was so freaking boring. Actually, I was watching with Taylor. We watched the first half at a bar. Didn't really miss much, but we were watching the Alabama-Georgia game on our phone, and yeah, it felt like that would have been the first half to watch full screen.
How did that poll come back asking earlier this week, has Penn State 17-3 deficit felt insurmountable since 1986? Because once they got that, it really was surprising to me that Penn State got back into that game. Not that they lost it, obviously, but that they even tied it.
It was how they got back too, like that very quick drive, a couple nice passes. Like it was very surprising to me too, Dan, and it kind of makes you wonder, like, was the game plan too conservative from the jump? And is that, I mean, I guess that is sort of the criticism of James Franklin, is that like he is just too conservative sometimes, even when his team is good, and it doesn't put them in a position to win these games, especially when you're going against a very aggressive head coach like Dan Lanning. I wish I sent you guys the video of Dan Lanning that I posted over the weekend, because he was unhinged. It was a video from an Oregon beat reporter who ran onto the field after the game ended, and Dan Lanning is screaming like into the sky, and it is terrifying. But yes, Dan, it was not just that they came back, it was the way they came back I thought was impressive, and then overtime happened. Man.
Diego Pavia was your September Heisman winner. What's your Heisman looking like right now? Who do you have? I mean, this is obviously huge for Diego Pavia.
Why wouldn't it still be Diego Pavia?
No. But
October front runner.
Who's getting the invite to New York as of right now in your rankings?
Okay, first of all, it's like 11 a.m. on October 1st. So you've given me 11 hours, and there hasn't even been a game yet. By the way, wearing my first sweater of fall. Happy fall, y'all. It's soup season, Mike. Second of all, I really like JKS if we're going the quarterback route. Cal's quarterback. He had a electric fourth quarter performance against Boston College last week. There's been a lot of talk and chatter about how the first round hopeful quarterbacks in college football this year have been disappointing. Drew Aller, Garrett Nussmeier, Arch Manning,
Cade Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik, yes, that's who I was forgetting. Now, do I think that there's any correlation between the four of them? I'm not sure. I think they all have been bad for different reasons, possibly. In Drew Aller's case, I don't think he's ever been that great in big games. In Arch Manning's case, maybe he's just not the guy. I mean, he's how old? 21 now? He's waited a couple of years to play. It's not like he's a true freshman or anything like that. Garrett Nussmeier also could be injured. So I'm willing to wait on that one. Cade Klubnik, I feel like there's too much going wrong with Clemson's offense that I can't diagnose it. He doesn't seem like he can read a defense. They don't seem like they're putting him in a good position. It's just been a terrible season for Clemson. But have fun at that game, Zaz. Now, my larger point is, as disappointing as I think those four quarterbacks have been, there have been so many surprises, Ty Simpson being one of them this past weekend. CJ Carr, of course, I am a Notre Dame fan, so I have to mention him, has been way better and way better than anyone expected, frankly.
Really good player.
And of course, the Cal freshman has been great. Dante Moore, who's not a young player, but has now gotten a second chance playing with some experience under his belt, I thought was really good in that Penn State game too. So I would not let that, the big name disappointment sort of cloud your judgment of what the quarterback situation is currently like in college football. I think, there's a lot of players that are really exciting. And so that being said, it's October Heisman field is wide open right now.
Don't think she mentioned Trinidad Chambliss.
Trinidad Chambliss.
My father pronounces Ole Miss Ole Miss when he reads
Love
it.
that.
Who is better, Ole Miss or Texas Tech?
Give the edge to Ole Miss right now, but Trinidad Chambliss, another player, Dan, where did he come from? Ferris State? He was not on my radar before the season started. Between him, Dante Moore, CJ Carr, Bryce Underwood, something's going on in Michigan. These Michigan quarterbacks, they have perhaps not overperformed, but they have met expectations this year.
Do you have any bad news for Mike Ryan, FSU this weekend?
No, but Ruben Bain could be on the October Heisman watch list, Mike. I know you were 100% right about Virginia and Florida State. That was a massive upset on Friday night, and it had monster Friday night ratings. Unfortunately, the Thursday and Friday night slate this week, it's not what you want, Dan. It's underwhelming, but there is baseball and there is basketball and there is NFL football, of course, but I don't think we're going to see any crazy Friday night upsets, unfortunately.
We got to get Bain in your Heisman category just for you to dust off your impression.
Impression?
There hasn't been a more dominant player in college football, but that's not what the award goes out to usually.
No.
But,
and it also doesn't go to anyone other than quarterbacks ever. So
Aiden Hutchinson's probably the best comp. Like he finished second, and Miami needs to have that kind of season that Michigan had for Ruben Bain to make it.
And the women in the WNBA are very dramatic. Unlike the NBA, which has an entire meme called "This League" dedicated to it. It's only the W that's dramatic.
She hosts the Echoes podcast. I knew when you said dramatic.
We were all feeling it.
We all
were like,
put a finger up.
There
it is.
As soon as you said it.
They also love
and
money.
they love money. Oh,
this league loves
hello,
drama.
Jeremy.
She hosts the Echoes podcast, and Jeremiah Love, he's pretty good. He needs to stop jumping over people. He's going to hurt himself.
Dan, if you were watching that Arkansas game, you saw he's hitting the spin move now. All right, whatever button that is on the controller, he's not hitting jump, he's hitting spin now.
No, he needs to do spin. Jumping up and down is going to get him really hurt, and I like to watch him run. Thank you, Jessica. Nice seeing you. Greg Cody. Happy fall. It is a lovely sweater. Greg Cody, one more time. You want to tell people the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. Why should they listen when it's a preview of the Jets-Dolphins game? Why should they listen to the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody when you're previewing Dolphins-Jets?
Well, you act as if that's the only thing on the episode. Stugotz.
This is the new
Dan
Le Batard Show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
Hey folks, it's Mike Ryan, and it's also football season. That's right, things just kicked off. I celebrated a big dub with my friends and my trusty Miller Lite right there beside me, because Miller Time is the secret ingredient to football time. Miller Time makes everything a good time. I love Miller Lite. You know why? Because Miller Lite is brewed for flavor with simple ingredients, rich toffee notes, and that iconic golden color. And here's a kicker, folks. In its 50th year of existing, it's just 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. The original light beer since 1975 and still hidden 5 decades later. Whether you're at the game or at your home on your couch with your friends, put out a nice little cold cooler of Miller Lite and make sure the drinks keep coming, because it is football time and you want that beer that hits different. Miller Lite, great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Juju tossed me a stat of the day here. The Ravens defense has 4 sacks this season. 39-year-old Calais Campbell has 3 sacks this season. The Ravens defense has been truly epically terrible. We're going to get to the useless sound montage in a second. We're going to get to Against the Spread in a second. But first, we have this breaking news from Jane Levy. We don't know where Jeremy slept last night. And Jane Levy.
Levy, that's a fine.
Sorry, my bad. Yes, you're levying a fine. Jane Levy.
That's my type of joke.
Jane Levy is calling you a boy toy because you forgot to mention that you went to the Yankee Red Sox game and you forgot to plug her book, Make Me Commissioner, I Know What's Wrong with Baseball and How to Fix It. Did she demand that the boy toy call her commish?
No, but she did demand that I plug this book for everyone, which I am doing right now.
So there was a means to an end, huh?
Seemingly. No, I mean, look, I already bought the book myself. I also bought her Sandy Koufax book because I'm fascinated by Koufax, and she wrote the book on Sandy Koufax. But yeah, I know we've had a lot of fun. The most fun experience to be at that baseball game for what ended up being a historic 9th inning. It wasn't the way I think anybody in that stadium really wanted it to go, but to be there for the Yankees to load the bases and ultimately not come through, hanging out with Brian Ross, like a legendary journalist, investigative journalist from NBC News and ABC News.
David's
Jane
brother.
Levy, it was really a remarkable experience. I'm
Were
so
there
happy
any
I went.
lulls in
thankful.
conversation? Was it constant chatter?
Constant. Yeah, we were just talking about, we ended up in conversations about middle relievers developing new pitches as Luke Weaver came in and struggled. And we talked about, which pitches that we were seeing that we think maybe would be challenged in the future. It was a baseball fans baseball conversation.
Cody, what are you laughing about?
I was eating it up.
What are you laughing about, Zaslow? What are you guys doing?
I can't repeat what was just said to me.
If it's a conversation about middle relievers, I want nothing to do with it. I'm sorry.
I'm confused. So she invited you under the condition of plug my book, and
no.
you did not plug the book?
No, that wasn't why I was invited. At the end of our conversation, it was
What he plugged, Juju?
Jesus Christ.
Against the
Miami
Spread.
Heat.
Buy Make Me Commissioner. Buy the book. Go buy it. It's great. Jane is great. I love her.
Did you call her today? Did she call you? What's the...
Texted her this morning.
Morning
Oh, you
after.
didn't bother waiting a day?
Yeah,
Wait 2
desperate.
days? No?
My gosh.
Right away?
Before we get to Against the Spread, let's play, please, the useless sound montage. We have waited too long.
Man, it's an honor to represent American football here in Dublin.
Beautiful day in Western New York. Glory to God for the weather.
First and foremost, all glory belongs to God. My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, just want to thank him for this victory for us, keeping us safe for the most part.
The winner of these games when we play them usually starts out fast. We started out fast in the past. They started out fast today.
Not a big deal, just keep that between us.
Good to get a win. Proud of the team.
Never ever give up.
My gut was probably wrong a lot of the night.
No, it's just a football game. I think that's just the best way to describe it.
In the grand scheme of things, man, you better be careful grading wins.
Those critical variables in football,
Generally it's not they're underemphasized.
Great to get Chris back. His aunt died, and it was good to get him back here.
I don't think you should be that sensitive about it, but it is what it is. Not too worried about it.
No, we're going to keep that between us.
It's a tie, and I really don't know what to say about that.
The game and the work that you put into the game never lied to you.
Kudos to TA and company. But also kudos to the men.
Try to go 1-0.
The standards are the standards. The identity is the identity, and it doesn't change for anybody.
That's the only thing you can do when you're in a spot like this is just keep coming out, keep swinging.
We got to learn how to win. This is year one of our program.
You can't fight and get behind the 8 ball against good teams and expect to win.
We work on it. We get better. Get back to work and regroup. Rethink.
Not blink when a lot of people are telling them to blink.
Good things happen, to those who just stay consistent and stay ready.
You got to feel the taste of it.
Yeah, you just hope that there's no mechanical problems that slow the plane down from taking off.
When he scores 0 points, it's not good enough.
Look, it's good to get a win. I'm happy for our players. I'm happy for our coaches. They put a lot of time and effort and energy into us.
I can just open my eyes and see an entire team and stadium and organization that doesn't have time for my feelings.
Component of it being a great trip is doing the job, and thankfully we were able to do that.
No, they're just going to keep that between us right now. That's it.
Coach Parcells used to put the mouse traps up everywhere. You'd come in, and the next day, if he thought it was one of those games, and there'd be thousands of them.
There's nobody that puts more pressure and eats more frustration than I do on where we're at.
We're in the ultimate parity league, and I think that's why we have such a good relationship with our fans, man, and we enjoy putting our talents and skills on display for them.
Bud missed a 56-yarder, but that's 56 yards, so we've gotten spoiled.
The complimentary football today showed up, obviously making plays in 3 phases.
It doesn't take much. You just tell them what's on your mind, and they already know what's up.
He's been a stud, Nick. I mean, the guy, he's a grown man.
I know what you're doing there, Paul. I know what you're doing, and I'm not going to answer that to you right now.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Does anyone eat more frustration than Brian Callahan?
I don't believe Dan Campbell when he says he had a coach put thousands of mouse traps around the locker room before a trap game. I don't believe that. Thousands of mouse traps.
You think Parcells was walking around with a box full of mouse traps
Thousands?
the day before big games and laying them out?
I don't understand Schottenheimer saying he's got to learn. They have to learn how to win. Has no one on the team ever won a football game?
Dave Wannstedt used to use lobster traps. More impressive than mouse traps.
Yeah, that's how Wannstedt evolved. Like the instead of just copycatting or stealing the idea of mouse traps, I'm going to do it South Florida style.
Yes.
I'm going to see if Jimmy can lend me some of his lobster traps. Let's do Against the Spread, get to the polls, and get to Juju's analysis, withering criticism of my performance on today's show.
Against the spread. Against the spread. Billy, kick us off. Wait, first, Against the Spread is brought to you by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Now,
go ahead.
All right, I'm looking at the NFL slate this week, and there's one game out there. It's Dolphins versus the Panthers. Dolphins on the road, favored by 1.5 points. It's juicy, but I'm not going to go with that game. I'm going to stay away from that game.
Glad you mentioned it.
I'm going to go with the Giants plus 2.5 at the Saints. The Saints, they played the Bills close, but they're not a good team. The Giants, they beat the Chargers, who we thought were a good team. Jackson Dart, is this a revelation? I don't know. I just have a feeling about this Giants team, so I'm going to take the Giants plus 2.5 against the New Orleans
Truly
Saints.
crappy analysis. You have a feeling. Excellent.
Greg Cody, what's your pick?
Miami Hurricanes minus 4.5 in tally. Yes, please. I am all in on the Canes. Their pass defense is much, much better equipped than last season to stop the Seminoles. I like Miami by at least a touchdown.
Homer Cody thinks it's going to be a blowout. Homer Cody thinks the UM is going to drag FSU.
Are you covering the game?
At least a touchdown. Yes, I will be writing off that game.
You making the drive?
No, I am not.
Can you pick
You're doing it
a
from
game
home?
that you're covering?
I'm running because of the government shutdown.
Yeah.
There's still no roads or highways.
You thought he was Herbie and he had to sit it out?
Why are you such a homer? Do you ever pick against the
It's
local
crazy.
teams? Like ever?
I
I don't have.
I picked the Dolphins to lose to the Bills.
He thought the Marlins would be bad this year.
Well,
you picked the Dolphins to lose to the Bills when they were a 12.5-point underdog.
Right, I did pick them to cover, which they did. Thank you.
Why is it a homer pick?
Yeah, against the spread, I picked them to cover.
Stop being a homer, bro.
Juju, what do you have for us today before we get to the polls here? What did you think of today's show? Where was I especially crappy today?
The first spot you was crappy. I pulled teeth and nails every show trying to get y'all to talk to W. Something awesome happens in the W. Let's bring in Jessica Smetana to talk about it. And I'm out. Salute to Jessica. She's an expert also, but I would love to be in those conversations. It's my life over here.
Well, have at it.
Here nor there.
No, it's right here, and it's there. It's right here. We're here. Don't go there. We're right here. We're here right now. Tell us what you thought about Napheesa Collier, what she had to say, and also tell us what you think about these WNBA finals. I should tell people alley-oop is something he's doing with Trista. They've got great chemistry, and their coverage of the league is exceptional. So tell us what you got.
Nah, I care about the show, and I understand the fans of the show have an attention span for the W. And we rolled out the red carpet for my sister Jessica. We got into it. So all I would say is salute to head coach Stephanie White of the Indiana Fever, Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston, Odyssey Sims, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Breonna Turner, the whole squad. Shea Petty, they showed so much resilience going up against that Aces team shorthanded. Nothing but applause for that team. I hope they keep the coach because that would be an abomination to get rid of her after this performance. And yeah, the final should be awesome. I told you midway through the season, whenever Asia got her hand hurt, you asked me, are the Aces in trouble? I told you, but they're going to be all right. And guess what? They all right. You feel me?
You're wearing the Lamar Jackson gear. What did you think? We talked a lot Lamar Jackson today. What were your thoughts there?
Oh, yeah, I think that y'all was spot on. And Nick was spot on and Mike was spot on. At first, it was so much coming from that side, you know. As a black man, you can't help but see and feel that side, that there has been an overcorrection on my brother. My brother got to win some of these big games, man. Like, so that fumble in Buffalo last year, that it was snowing and it was rough conditions, but at the same time, you out there, you got to get it done. So you spot on with Lamar. Also with the Chiefs, when it comes to the Chiefs beating these teams, I think that the Buffalo Bills, my team, I think our defense is so ass that it's above and beyond. Like y'all said, when Josh makes it, he makes it because he has to put the Superman cape on. They lose by 1 point because the defense can't stop a cold. Like last year, Patrick Mahomes was getting rid of that ball to Elam's side instantly. We traded Elam to the Cowboys, and now everybody wonder, what's wrong with the Cowboys defense? It's Kyer Elam. Back to you.
Okay, that's all that's wrong with the Cowboys defense. Do you have any updates for us here on Greg Cody and his abominable position of we've got too many statues in sports?
Oh, yeah. This isn't a sports statue, but I got to ask my brother his opinion on this statue. They recently unveiled a Tina Turner statue, my brother.
Oh, it's rough.
It is rough.
Is it really? I haven't seen it. It's rough.
Oh, yeah? My God. Video team, if you got it, do my boy a favor and show it to him. But, yeah, I got to ask you. Is Tina Turner worth the statue in your opinion, Greg?
Yes. If it's a music statue, I'm gonna put it.
Oh my goodness,
yes,
it's
absolutely.
really rough.
Yeah. I noticed. I don't see Ike. I don't see Ike anywhere there, which is probably just as well.
Why would we want Ike there?
I mean,
what does that have to do
like
with Ike?
Where did you bring it?
What do we need Ike there for?
Ike and Tina Turner.
Wait.
He was not a nice man.
Rolling down the river. That's why I'm making a joke about it. It's just as well that he's not there.
It's not a laughing matter, Greg.
I know it really isn't. No. That's too much hair. She had a lot of hair, but that's over the top, literally and figuratively.
Well, she actually didn't have a lot of hair.
Thank you.
Hey, real ones know. Speaking of that, I got to ask my brother, Mike, did you see Tony Romo over the weekend?
Yeah.
Dude, what's
Suspicious!
What is going on with this guy?
And also some other stuff going on.
More the face for me.
Oh my goodness. I instantly thought of Mike. I'm like, I got to show this to Mike because he knows what's going on here.
Mike, are you making a ruling as the world's, certainly America's foremost authority, sports expert on calling people out when they're doing things with their face, hair, teeth that is false, postizo?
Yeah.
What are you ruling here?
Dan, he went for the hat trick. He did stuff with the hair, face, and teeth.
Damn. It's giving hair, face, ass.
Yeah, and also makeup on the hands, too.
Man,
damn.
That is the back of the hands. He does have something on the back of the hands there as well. Tony Romo.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And Dan, this is the only correction I have for you from the show today. His mama called him Castellanos. I'm going to call him Castellanos.
I don't know. I don't think his mother does call him Castellanos. I don't think his mother does call him Castellanos.
Let's get her on.
No, he says.
This is a Matt Diaz situation where he's like, it's Diaz. I'm like, no, brother, it ain't. You'll find out.
She's wrong, too.
No, I don't know that his mother calls him Castellanos. I think he's been Americanized, and he insists on making it Castellanos. I think she calls him Castellanos.
Why isn't it his choice?
Why did she call him by his first name?
Yeah.
Because the double L, you have to roll it if you're Hispanic. That's why.
If I want to pronounce my name Greg Cott, I'm Greg Cott.
Your name actually is pronounced Cote, but you say Cody.
I know, so it's Cody. Who owns my name?
Like Julio
I do.
Jones.
I own my name.
I'm still reeling from your need to throw Ike Turner into a
weird.
Tina Turner statue situation.
He said he was glad that Ike wasn't there.
Yeah, he did.
Thank you, Billy.
This could also be a Cameron Ward situation in which, look, there's only one Castellanos in sports, and we don't want our name associated with that.
The boy toy over there is overcorrecting now because
doing promo.
Jane Levy wants her book sold, and the boy toy does what he's told.
Please buy this book because Jane is wonderful and invited me to a baseball game under no false pretenses.
Why is my dad holding up his book?
I mean, we're all promoting books here all of a sudden.
Let's update the polls at Le Batard Show. What do you have today, Juju?
Oh, my goodness. Do you trust your airline pilot less if he or she talks with a lisp? Come on, man. Lisp lives matter. 56% of the audience says yes, they trust them less.
Attention passengers.
People are lying. They feel bad.
That's crazy.
On your left, you'll see the Grand Canyon.
Also, I'm reminded there was nothing more on brand for Zaslow today for him to not understand how oil and money works. Bravo, brother.
You should have heard during the break. Zaz was in here wondering if the Saudis just have a bank account that's just endless numbers.
We're seeing a coaching symposium there.
I mean, you're telling me the Saudis, they never call their accountant to make sure they can afford it?
All of a sudden, there's a sheik going, we're overdrawn. We got to withdraw that offer to Brady.
Do you crush quesadillas? 90% of the audience says yes, you do. And the last poll, should we stop having sporting events in Long Island? Sorry, guys. 81% of the audience says yes, we should, and those are your polls.
Jeremy, did you find out for me the question I was asking about how the results came back on the poll from yesterday?
Yes, 367% of the audience voted yes.
What was the question?
You had asked the 17-3, is it insurmountable for Penn State to overcome a 17-3 since 19 whatever? Yeah, 800% of the audience voted yes.
That joke would have hit harder if you read it for.
If he had just let the joke sit for the second time this show.
Doing the AI thing?
Yeah, I was trying. I work hard. I flew in. I woke up at 4 a.m. to be back
In our defense, we didn't want you here.
Why do I?
All right, we didn't ask for this either.
She wore your ass out, man. You were useless today.
Hey, man. Dan,